Hello. Welcome. It's that time again. It's Tuesday night, and those of us who are suckers for glass, we are going to have a good time because we're going to be talking to Dominic, Primetime Treasure Hunter, and picking his brain about what he can tell us about anything related to glass or breakables. And so I see that the first person here was Teresa. Hi. She's also Janeth. So
Yes,
she's,
she's
yes.
she's double named.
Yes, she sure is. Sometimes she's AKA one thing and AKA another. So I did put out a request on my community channel that to tell me some questions. So I got a couple of questions and LOL. Oh, I'm really bad about showing the comment. So please remind me, Dominic.
By the way, that reminds me with my new icon down there, Mrs. Primetime wanted me to officially congratulate you on your 1,000 subscribers. So that's directly from Mrs.
Yay.
PT herself. So
Oh,
congratulations.
oh, that was so nice of her to go the extra step. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. She's
You
very
helped me
happy
a
for you.
lot, Dominic. I was looking over the old live stream that I was on your show, and I had only 719 subs at the time. And by the time we finished the hour and a half live show, I had 765. And so that was a big boost because I have been doing videos since 2019. Hi, Susan
Hey, hi,
and
Susan.
the
How are you?
Berry.
Yeah,
Hi,
I remember
everyone.
that. You came on. We did that show about Mercari.
Akari, and I was
Yeah,
reviewing it today, and good times, good times.
that
And
was
you
fun.
helped me get to 765, and then just a couple of weeks ago, I finally got to 1,000 subs. And I'm not about numbers, but there is a good feeling about knowing that 1,000 people have clicked subscribe. That's a good
That is
feeling.
That's true. That's true. I remember when I had my first subscriber, I ran up the stairs. I told Mrs. Primetime someone actually subscribed to my channel. I couldn't believe it. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's definitely a great feeling. So, congrats again from me as well.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
glad to see you started doing live shows, which is interesting. Did you ever
I
think you'd be
wanted
doing those?
I I always wanted to do a live, but I thought I had to get to 1,000 subs to be able to go live. And
Well,
then I don't know when that rule changed.
you don't have to, but that was actually something that I personally decided when I started my own channel. I just had that as my own standard. I said, I'm not going to do live shows until I have 1,000 people following because I'm not convinced that there's enough people that would actually want to hear anything that I would have to say. Now I'm almost at 50,000 and I still don't have people that really want to listen to what I have to say. So,
Oh
you
boy.
know, so I don't know when
Uh,
that point actually comes, but for me, I thought it was at 1,000.
well, I wanted to share with people in the stream and maybe later who watch, just start where you're at. Dominic's first video, I went and watched it, and he didn't even show himself, and his voice was pretty monotone. And thank you all.
You know why? I had to make that video in secret, down in my, other side of Primetime Treasure
Oh,
headquarters because Mrs. Primetime was not a supporter of me doing YouTube,
yes,
in the beginning. It took a
yes,
while. She definitely did not want me showing my face. She was very concerned about, the possible implications it would have for
sure,
my
for your
profession.
career. Yes.
Yeah, and, but, I was something I wanted to try. It was something new, something exciting, and, I decided to give it a shot, so I made a little educational, video about vintage
About
spray
spray
cans.
cans.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's still up, never
Yeah.
take that one down because that's the first,
Yeah.
and, but, I was, definitely I think it's funny, if you go to people who've been on YouTube for a while, and you go back to their first video, it is so interesting to look at the difference between the first one and where they are at now. I mean, there's
Now.
usually, if they've been around for several years, there's usually a big change in production quality. You could tell the confidence of the person and the way that they speak. It's just like anything else. You develop over time and get better with practice.
Well, in the chat, we have Renee Ratstash,
And
and
there's
she
Harry.
was my guest last week or 2 weeks ago. It's all a blur. I can't believe I've already had like 11 shows. And she had been hustling for as long as I have, and she hit 1,000 a couple weeks ago, and now she's going to do live streams too. So it's after ours. I'm in trouble because I stunk on my first one and I sunk on my 600, but I'm still having fun. Harry, you don't stink. Uh,
YouTube's
he's
tough.
funny.
It's very difficult, as you know,
Yes,
and it really requires a lot of persistence and hard work.
dedication,
Yeah,
dedication. You cannot think it's gonna be a one time and then you go back a month later. Yeah,
yeah, you got
yeah, it's been a long road, but you know what? I am here now, and I hope these live streams will continue to keep me over 1,000, and then just chatting with people. And I picked glass because I love glass. I think everybody sells it, and we can all learn from each other. So
we can. Now, I will learn more from you and I will learn more from people in the chat because full disclaimer at the beginning of this video, and I tell people this on my own channel, I am not an expert in glass. It is my weakest area. It is something that I do, though, try to learn a lot more about each and every year. I've sourced more glass items, over the last few years than ever, and
yes, yes,
and breakables, and I currently
yes.
have things like that in my store. So I am actively, trying to learn, more and more about it. And so, with doing that,
Ceramics,
yeah. So
statues, those are
yeah,
breakable.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
your religious statues, I mean, those are great videos that you show us how to ship.
Yeah, I am good at shipping breakable things. That's one thing, as I have some good shipping skills. So I do have a bunch of shipping videos on my channel to show people how to ship breakables. In fact, one of them was how to ship a whole set of glasses that you know Mary McQueen, I think. She bought a whole set of glasses from me once. They were Peanuts glasses, Snoopy.
Uh-huh.
And I basically broke down in the video how to safely protect these items so that they arrive, okay. And I've done the same thing with videos on plates as well. And happy to say all those videos that I've done where I've shown those items, they've all arrived safe and sound, and nothing
Awesome.
happened to them. The big problem that I notice, especially in my Facebook group, the which you're in, you used to moderate there, the
Yeah.
reselling
It
resource
just got too
center.
big and I didn't have time. It was a big group.
Hey,
Let me see.
I,
You have 31,000 people almost.
yeah, almost 31. Yeah, it's been around for a bit, and it keeps growing, and it's fun, and it's a way to keep in touch with what's going on in the community and to see trends. And one of the trends I notice a lot is, or a pattern is, when people post that a breakable of theirs broke in the mail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I always start off with the first question is, did
What did
you
you use?
fill all of the void space? Did you wrap it? And did you double box it? And inevitably, the answer to that question is no on the double boxing practically every single time. I can't remember a time where someone told me, yeah, I double boxed it and it broke. Now, it's
Yeah, I don't
possible
double box, but I do
you
the
don't
other
have
two
to.
very well.
Yeah, you don't have to. I know there's people that don't do it and they're able to do it successfully, but I have had instances myself in the past where I have filled all the void space, I bubble wrap the hell out of the item, and still USPS found a way to break the item, which
Wow.
ultimately, and I say USPS broke it, which is technically true, but I still blame myself for it. If an item broke, I see it as my fault because my job is to make it USPS breakable proof.
Proof.
So
Yeah.
since I started double boxing things, and this has now been going on for years that I've been doing this, as a result
Yeah.
of those instances, and it had to do a lot,
Yeah.
statues would be the thing that would break, no matter what I did to protect them. So double boxing, I've not had anything break that I've sent out that's a breakable, nothing. So that's because of that. For me, I stick with that system, and it's worked out. But I do know plenty of people in the breakable space. Their success not double boxing. For me, I just based on my experience, that's why I do it.
A question from Renee. Do you sell on Whatnot?
Absolutely. In fact, I
Yes.
run another a Facebook group. It's the biggest Facebook group dedicated to Whatnot. It's called Whatnot for Resellers. I think you're in that one too, Esme, or you were.
I was.
You are at some point. So it's a little rougher of a crowd than the reselling resource center crowd.
I'm so used to the kindness of the
Yeah,
first group that the
yeah.
second group kind of was not my
Like
cup of tea.
it's a little rougher. We still moderate it, and we try to make sure that we take out anything that could be like abusive or anything like that. But like I said, it is
More
a little
direct.
rougher around the edges.
More direct.
But that group is now 8,500 members or 8,600, and we're by far and away the biggest group. So if you want to learn about Whatnot, it is a good
Right.
resource center. I post all the updates on there, and yes, I do sell on Whatnot. It's under Primetime Treasure. I specialize in comic books. That's an area of expertise for me. And my wife, Mrs. Primetime, has broken her spell of not being heard by anyone
I
by
know.
selling jewelry.
Woohoo! That
So
that is
she's
groundbreaking.
it is. Thank you for supporting her in her first show. And for those here who are at that show, I do appreciate you in chat for being there for her. She definitely appreciates it. And she did her second show on Christmas brooches the other night. And she
Uh-huh.
has one coming up this weekend. Sunday is going to be animal jewelry. And so I do a comic show for an hour on Wednesdays. I have one tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. It's basically replaced my live show that I used to do every night on YouTube for like 4 or 5 years.
Yes. Yes.
And then I have a weekend comic show. I usually do it on Saturday, and that one runs for several hours. That's a longer show. But I've sold other things there. I've sold plush. I've sold ephemera. I've sold magazines. So I don't just do those categories, but that's what we tend to focus on. It's called Whatnot for Resellers. Whatnot for Resellers, Rat Stash.
But your group, is that what it's called?
That's my Facebook group on.
Oh. I thought
That's
she
the
meant on what. Okay.
No, that's the Facebook group dedicated to Whatnot. It's called Whatnot
I
for
see.
Resellers. My general reselling group is called the Reselling Resource Center, and our name on um, Whatnot is Primetime Treasure.
That's wonderful. That is so cool.
I'm glad to have Mrs. Primetime in the treasure box now, jumping out. And especially for you, I actually thought about you, Esme, when I changed the icon because and one of the things I appreciate about you is that you've always been honest with me. And even though you have your PTFG shirt on right now,
Sweater.
thank you so
I'm a
much.
diehard Daisy fan.
I appreciate that. You've been honest with me and told me if there's something that is not particularly your cup of tea, which was the Primetime Treasure guy that I had for a long
Oh
time.
yeah, he looked like a little Indiana Jones,
He
and
did.
I don't like
He
that
did.
movie. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I totally get it. So I wanted to anyway have the channel became more of kind of lighthearted over the years anyway. A lot of laughs and stuff. So I figured that would be more of to reflect that and also to have Mrs. Primetime in there. And there's been changes on my channel. So I figured time for a change, time for a new look that's been there for a long time. Mrs. Primetime didn't like that Indiana Jones guy either. So
There you
yeah, so
go.
she's
There
on your
you
side.
go.
She's on your side. Thanks, Triple V. I appreciate it.
Great minds think alike. You know,
Sure.
I know one of your main fortes is comic books, and you talk about doing research, and I'm sure you have like magazines or reference guides
Mhm.
for comic books, and we have the same thing for glass. So
Okay.
I just wanted to share with the chat
Okay.
that I ordered some stuff, and wow, I'm learning basics, people. Basics. I got this book, and I don't want to really know. I mean, later on, I'll know about money, how much they go for, but just for it to tell you, this is a picture, and this is a ewer, and the difference is the ewer has that little spout. I didn't know that. Just basic stuff.
That's
A
excellent.
cruet, a cruet has a stopper on top.
Yep.
I don't know if you can see that.
So you put like salad dressing in there.
Yeah, but what makes a decanter different than a cruet? Well, the cruet has the little spout, and a decanter is just like that.
It's funny you mentioned that, Esme, because actually on my channel for a long time, I have been featuring decanters. I love sourcing decanters. But one of the tips I would give people about decanters, and it really trips up newer resellers, is you have to be very, very careful with Jim Beam decanters because visually, they really look cool,
Uh-huh.
and you see them and they're low cost often at estate sales and garage sales, and you say to yourself, "Oh my gosh, that's incredible." And a lot of times, not every time, there's exceptions, right? They could be, yes, but a lot of them are overproduced, and then when you actually do a comp check, you find, oops, it's not actually worth that much. So,
No,
you
this is not worth much. I paid too
yeah,
much because the lady, I was liking her store and I went crazy buying, but I paid $8 for this. I'll be lucky if I can make a $5 profit.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
But
so those guides could be important, Teresa. They really could help you out for sure.
well, you know me, I'm on Macari, and when I sell on Macari, I get a little bank balance, and then I use that money to buy things to support other Macari resellers. So I went on a spending spree and I bought like 15 books. And
Yep.
so I've got quite an arsenal of knowledge that I need to go through.
So, yeah, and another tip for folks, related to those, guides, like the one that I was actually just gonna mention that, Esme, so it's
Oh
perfect
my
you
God, we're on the same wavelength.
we are. It's the PTFG shirt. So, um, it's funny you mention that. I actually was gonna just mention that when you go to garage sales in particular, and also at estate sales, a lot of those folks, people who have run garage sales, and also estate sales, a lot of them are collectors, and you will find if you look on their library or if you look on the books that they put out at their sale, that they have collector guides just like that Fenton guide. I actually have a video where I showed myself sourcing Fenton guides and sourcing other types of guides for collectibles, lots of which were breakables. They resell just the guides in and of itself. If you wanted to resell them, I actually resold a 1980s vintage, hard to find Fenton guide. But you could also keep them for yourself, like you said, for for resource. So either way, and then usually get them for really cheap.
Yeah, I did okay. I don't remember, but I think I paid like 10 or 15 per book, but that's my passion, so I went ahead and but hey, there was Fenton books for 70. I'm like, uh-uh. On Macari, I found who I wanted to buy from.
There you go.
Yeah. Pottery and glass. Oh, I need to learn pottery. I
Yeah,
that
the
is
whole speaking of Fenton, by the way, I mean, like I
uh-huh.
said, if in the glass community, of course, everybody knows Fenton, but it's just it's no matter, and it's like Teresa said, it's a whole new language, no matter what you're trying to get into when it's a new niche, and part of the new language are the brands, and you need to know what are the top brands. So when I
Right.
first started in it, of course, I had no idea what Fenton was. But then I learned about it and I knew to look for the hobnail style that they often have on the outside. And I actually
Yeah.
found in one of my videos, they were rose colored Fenton salt and pepper shakers.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah, you remember those? So
Yes.
I picked them up because of that, because of trying to break into a new niche and stuff like that.
I think you
Those,
paid 5 or something.
yeah, like it was like $4 or $5. Those things
Uh-huh.
sold for like $60.
Yes, I
Yeah,
was so happy for you.
yeah. Hey, Rosie, what's going on?
Um, so speaking of hobnail, I tell you, we're in tune. This book has pictures of hobnail pattern, but guess what? It's not Fenton. It's I don't know if you can see it. It's Indiana glass. Wait,
Yeah, yeah,
Hawking glass.
yes.
So my goodness, it's not enough to know the pattern. You have to know the company. It's a lot to learn.
Yeah, anchor hawking is something I look for all the time. I mean, I think one of the tips I would give people who are starting out in glass is to make sure you're taking the glass object and you are turning it over and you are looking at the bottom of it to get clues in terms of maker marks and maker names, and possibly some dates or some signatures or things like that that could help you try to identify it.
Yeah, sometimes they don't. But okay, let me
Yeah.
show you a mistake, and I might have to just keep it. When I saw this at the flea market, and the lady had a $10 price tag. I said, "Oh my God, those go for 40 or so." Um, I looked it up after the fact, so I bought it for 10. Indiana or Imperial Marigold Carnival Glass Punch Bowl. So in the flea market, in the sun, or in her booth, I didn't see that it had a big internal crack.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I'm glad that you pointed that out because I've actually mentioned this. Am I still there?
I'm trying to show
Oh, okay.
the
Showing the
crack.
crack.
It's right here. Look,
I thought I
you
got
can
kicked
even
out already. I was like, I thought
no,
I was
no. I just
behaving myself.
no. I just wanted to show the crack a little.
I see.
So so I'm like, dang. Do I chance selling it with the crack and saying it does have a crack in the middle, but I filled it with water and it didn't leak, or
Right.
do I just keep it for myself? I love carnival glass, Dominic. I love it.
Yeah, it's
It's blingy.
yeah, it's very pretty. It has that kind of like oil slick look to it, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Hello,
So
Lena. I don't know who you are, but
Li
hello.
Lina. I used to call her
Oh,
Lena for
Lina.
the longest time, but,
Oh no,
yeah,
Lina.
she's come over from you should show, Lina your
Tam and
PTSD
Belle are
shirt.
here from across the pond.
You should show Lina your shirt because she has one as well.
Oh,
Yeah, just so there she goes, it's official.
it's a sweater. It's a hoodie.
She's got the full hoodie
And
because it is getting cold out. But yeah,
yes,
I do suggest looking over these items for, breakable items for cracks and for chips.
cracks. Yes.
I'm gonna point this out actually in the next video that I have coming up because I was
Uh-huh.
looking over some items, some statues and stuff for cracks and chips, and part of it really depends on where the chip is located, how many chips there are, where the crack is located. Does it leak like you said?
No.
Has it been repaired well or does it look really unsightly? Um, like here, this is something that I
I
picked
say
up.
when you display it, you can't see it.
You can do that, like with this item. So this is a very popular brand for pottery. You mentioned pottery, so look for this. I
What's it called?
believe it's Mosse, Mosse
Okay.
pottery.
Uh-huh.
I might be botching that, but that brand I know is very popular. I found this in one of my race against the clock videos, and
Uh-huh.
the reason why it was still sitting there is because if you turn this way, you will see that there is a little bit of
A
chipping
ding.
on there. Now that's
Yeah.
just surface chipping
Uh-huh.
right there. It's pretty minor, but that's why people left it there. Now, the people who watch my channel who are experts in pottery who know this brand said number one, definitely they would pick this up at the end of an estate sale for basically nothing. It was like $1 or less. And that for this brand, people will overlook that kind of surface chip,
Because it's
especially
old.
if, like you
Yes.
said, you could turn it and you won't even see it.
Right.
So, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. It just depends how bad it is and what the brand is.
Yeah, so I'll list it and I'll reduce I'll even say priced accordingly. And if somebody wants it, great. And if not, I get to keep it. But yeah, oh, I was so mad at myself afterwards.
Hey, MKT,
Hey,
Mom Knows Treasures is here.
yes. Oh, so a question that we had from Lynn Finds of yesterday. Would you recommend a cartoon character, excuse me, a cartoon character drinking glasses that are most sought after?
What I mean is the question, are there specific cartoon drinking glasses that I
Like,
would say?
have you noticed that, oh, if you get this character on a glass, it'll sell?
Not necessarily. I mean, I see those cartoon glass um items all the time. I mean, they're very popular. I mean, but there's a lot of them around, so you got to be careful because you might
Exactly.
see one and say, "Oh, wow, that looks like it's really cool," but in reality, you know, there's tons of them. What you really want to look for more are sets because a lot of these glasses, these cartoon glasses, they came out in sets. The older generally the better. So there's ones from the 1970s, like there's the Pepsi Looney Tune ones are really good. Like they have Tasmanian Devil and Roadrunner, Yosemite Sam, Porky Pig, Tasmanian Devil, Sylvester, that kind
But
of
how much
stuff.
would they sell for?
You could get as now I'm gonna include shipping in this, but including shipping, those a set of 7 of those could go for like $100. So, and
Wow,
I
that
would say
is.
Yeah, there's other Pepsi cartoon ones that I would say to go after. Like there's the Woody Woodpecker one, like there's Woody Woodpecker as part of the set. It's like Walter Lantz. Let's see, there's Rocky from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh yeah.
Some of those like, classic early cartoons that were on some of those Pepsi glasses. So those are the ones I would really look for. Try to look for sets. Some of them date back to the 60s in terms of the like Looney Tune ones. Tom and Jerry is one of my favorites as well. It's one
Oh
of my
yeah.
favorite cartoons. So I always look for Tom and Jerry. But I basically
The
say
chat is
Pepsi and Looney Tunes and try to get them in like a set if you can, or lot them up.
the chat is saying that Speedy
Speedy Gonzales.
Gonzalez and Slowpoke
I need
Rodriguez and
Andre, 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 Andre.
Gonzalez was my maiden name, so I love that little rat.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Heckle and Jekyll. Shout out to Old Time Gems and
Oh
Antiques for the Heckle and Jekyll Magpie. Shout out, one of my favorite cartoons. A lot of people
yeah.
do have no idea who Heckle and Jekyll are. I grew up watching Heckle and Jekyll, so if I ever
Oh
see Heckle
yeah.
and Jekyll stuff, I always pick it up. Love it. Natasha and Boris, exactly,
Oh
like
yeah.
Rocky and Bullwinkle. Absolutely perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
it has to be kind of rare, not the most current like Batman and
no, no. People really love, it's a combination of things with those cartoon drinking glasses because you're basically selling someone nostalgia that they could actually use
right.
because, they're filling that thing up and then they're drinking from it. They feel connected with it. Think about it, you're using multiple sensory modalities to connect the person to the nostalgia. It's not like it's just something that they're hanging up and looking at. They're actually getting some functional use out of it and actually frequent use out of it if they're going to use it. So, why drink my Mountain Dew out of the bottle when I could pour it in a Speedy Gonzalez?
Yeah. And Renee saying she has Ronald McDonald and E.T. I would get E.T., but I don't like clowns.
What, ET, you mean the alien? Oh, you mean Ronald McDonald? You don't like clowns? Yeah, he's
I
kind of
don't like
freaky looking.
clowns.
Yeah, Mrs. Primetime does not like clowns either. She has a clown phobia. So
Wow, she and I are
yeah,
kindred spirits.
yeah. They are scary, I have to admit. But at the same time, I know this is a little sidetrack, but just a quick mention, circus memorabilia is some
Oh,
of the best-selling stuff. It really
yeah.
is. It always sells. Always sells.
Why? Because people were little when they went to the circus? I
Yeah,
mean,
people have a lot of nostalgia, including myself. Of my parents used to take me to every once in a while. They used to take me into New York City, Madison Square Garden. Used to go to the Ringling Barnum and Bailey's shows that they used to have there. It was a special treat to go out there, and people remember that, and they remember the big show, and it was a big thing. It was a big event to go to a circus, and so. And then there's famous circus performers that people are fans of. They love the animals.
oh,
They love all the acrobatics. So there's a lot to it for people to like.
Misha's grandma was a clown. You don't hear about female clowns much.
No, but there are female clowns, and they're collectors. That, in fact, just the other day, if you might remember, I had gone to an estate sale a long time ago. It was in a magician's house. It was a
Yes, I
local.
remember that. I remember that one.
That was so much fun. That was one of my favorite videos I ever did, and favorite places to go source. And then the next day I did another video called It's All Free. The lady was so overwhelmed with everything, and the house was running the sale. She said, everyone come, whatever's left is free. So I remember I was in the kitchen, Mrs. Primetime saw the message come across
Yeah,
Facebook. She's like,
yeah.
"Oh my God, she just posted everything's free."
Woo!
I'm looking at my watch and everything. I'm like, all right, I'll go out there. I went out there, loaded up with stuff. His wife was a female clown, and he also dressed up as a clown. They actually were a local popular pair that went out together and did these roles. And I actually had her clown certificate from clown school or circus
Right.
school, which came with a little card. And I actually sold that just the other day. So there's people who
Wow.
collect all sorts of stuff.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And teapots, I actually was just showing, but this is a popular brand right here.
If
M
it's stoneware.
Yeah, yep, Mosse I think it's Mossy.
Mossy,
Yep,
I
but it's a
guess.
popular brand. So I, again, whatever way I'm pronouncing it is probably the wrong way for that, but definitely look for it because I could tell you 100% it's popular. So
So
yes,
she's
and
trying to, her father's
teacups
trying to
as well.
liquidate the estate. So
Teapots and teacups. In fact, Cat the Nurse Flipper did a big video on teacups that sell. It was very popular. So you can go watch that and learn all about different teacups that sell for big money with saucer food.
Harry did a video too, and his tip is the more color, the more patterns, the more design on it,
Yeah.
the more likely it's going to be valuable. Oh, they are in Florida. We are in New York. Ah, so you can't even go and help them list them, Andy Barry. I sell teapots all the time, Misha said.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What about Corningware, Pyrex? That to me is also like, I saw some the other day at a garage sale, but they looked scuffed, and I know that you can clean them with barkeepers, but I didn't know if it was beyond repair, so I didn't buy them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Corningware stuff is very, everyone had Corningware back in the
No,
day. And
but
I'm not,
Pyrex.
yeah, yeah. So the Pyrex, I'm always looking for Pyrex stuff. I mean, all the time. Now, sometimes it's just the people who have it, they know what they have and they
Yeah,
price it crazy high. So, for
yeah.
example, one of the things I look for a lot are the nesting bowls, the Pyrex nesting bowls. And last time I came across them at the estate sale, the guy knew what he had and he priced them up like really high. There just was not, I think he had $80 on the nesting bowls, and it just wasn't enough
Ooh,
for estate sale pricing. It just wasn't worth it. But I'll give you, if you want, I'll give you a sneak preview from my next video. You want a
woo,
sneak preview?
sure.
All right. All right. Hold on here.
Whoa, this
Only
has
on
gone
SB
to
channel.
another level of special.
All right. So these are nesting bowls. You
Ooh,
can
ooh,
see
the
the colors.
primary
There's
colors.
4 of them.
Uh-huh.
They actually came in a set of 4. And they are made by, and here's a company to look for if you don't know. It's Bauer Pottery.
Bauer. Huh.
Bauer Pottery.
BAU or BOW?
Bauer.
Okay. Okay.
Now, this is the reproduced version when the company was repurchased many years later after it went out for a while. But if you find the original old ones, which the original ones have a number, like a big number that's written underneath it, underneath the 2000. If it doesn't have the number, it's the reproduction. But even the
Say it
reproductions
again. Say it
now,
again. Say it again.
yeah, there's a big, see this 2000? See, it says
Okay.
2000 on there. Do you
Yeah.
see that? Yeah. Well, the original versions have a big number underneath the 2000. So if you see
Oh.
the number underneath the 2000, that's an original one of the original real vintage ones. Now,
Oh.
they
Okay.
still, but even these are still worth good money. Like I have these up for I think $224 or
Oh
275 or
my
something.
goodness.
I
Woo.
sourced them for $12 at the sale that you're going
Woo.
to see in my next
Yeah.
video. Now, interestingly, you will see, and this is the only one that has it. It's the big green one. There's a couple of chips on the lid, so I priced accordingly because of that. And
Right.
someone could decide what they want to do. They could easily there's only 2 spots where that's the case, and they could decide if they want to put a little paint on the outside of it or whatever. The other ones are
Right.
fine,
Touch it
but this
up.
is an example of something that I'll go out and look for. Triple V, I got the triple V stamp of approval. Yeah, the colors are really cool as well, right? Aren't they neat? So,
Yes.
but this is my point is that if you are like me and over the last few years you're trying to break into this niche and you're trying to learn, what you've got to do is you have to flip these things over and you have to look on the bottom because all of them have something on the bottom like that. And that's your
Okay.
first clue to start doing some research and figuring things out. Because most people, what happens, and I talk about this a lot in my sourcing videos, is what they see instead is they just see the top and they don't see the name on the bottom. They don't bother to turn it over and they just walk by it. Especially these two. The other thing is that they had 2 pieces of tape right across it to secure them. So a lot
Yeah.
of people look at those when they go sourcing as it's a barrier. So they will not take the tape off to explore. But to me, when
Just
I
put the
see
tape
that,
back.
yeah, I'd say it's tape peel the tape off,
And
take
then
it
put
out
it
and
back.
look. What do you think's gonna happen? No one's gonna hit you. Just
Beep,
take it
beep,
out.
beep, beep.
Right. Just take it out. It was just like if you remember one of my recent videos of my last race against the clock video, I went into the room and there were the train tracks in that bin with the transformer, and no one, everyone just left it there because there were pieces of tape across the bin. I'm like, I don't care. I took everything out. I took the tape off. I just sold the transformer the other day. So I mean, like, and that's just sitting there because it had tape over it. Anyway,
Wow.
yeah. I can mention something else if you want another sneak peek.
Sure.
Okay. These are breakable. It's not glass, but it's one of the things that I look for are miniatures. So this is a
Oh,
miniature set,
a tea
and if
set.
I take this off, these are, hold on, let me take
Be
them off
careful,
here.
yes.
I'll show them one at a time here. And I have another set too, if you want to see.
Ooh,
But I'll show you two examples. This is at the same sale. So this is the saucer. It's a
oh,
purple
pansy.
flower. Yeah, like a pansy, right?
Uh-huh.
And then it's got the teapot miniature. My point is
Oh,
miniatures with a removable top. It has the sugar bowl as well. It has the creamer, and it has two cups, which also have like little flowers on them. So they were 75 cents. They were in a bag, and I just
dang.
grabbed them. And now they're not, it's not worth a ton because it's not made of like anything really fancy. It's just a pretty decorative piece, but I have them
But
listed for $20.
for
So
75 cents,
for
yes. And you
75
know what,
cents,
Dominic? They deserve a new home. That little tea set shouldn't just stay there in the house and who knows what'll happen to it. You're going to give it a new home.
I agree with you. And here's another one. Okay, so this one here, these are all fruit based. It's a fruit theme. So as you can see here, we have like it's almost like a mango glass. This one I think is my favorite. It's look at this. It's like a watermelon cup. It's not made out of glass, but it is definitely breakable.
Breakable,
Here, let me
yeah.
take these off here. Here's, you could see the teapot has all sorts of different kind of fruits and
Grapes.
wines on it. So like if grapes, like, so if you're like a wine fan, you would like it. And then it has two saucers as well. So really neat. And with all
Yes.
these little miniatures that go with it,
Yeah.
I think they're cool pieces. So again, 75 cents. And I could, again, listed it for $20, but
Yeah.
so I found two of them real fast. The point is to look for miniatures because, they're people love miniatures. I sell them all the time and people really like it.
There's a question. Is it
Yep.
rosin?
No, it feels stronger than a resin. I'm actually
Oh, resin.
not 100% sure. It's a rough material. I'm not 100% sure actually what it's made out of. But it's definitely, if I dropped it, I could tell you it would shatter into a million pieces.
No.
So
Um,
I'm not 100% sure actually. It doesn't say.
uh, perfect for people who make scenes with little mice, taxidermist videos. Oh, yeah, like showing the
Yeah.
animals in their house. Hey, I don't know what cherished teddies are. Andy Berry's saying, do you ever sell cherished teddies? I don't know what that is.
Cherished teddies. No. No, it
I don't
sounds like
know.
a plush. That's what I would guess. Unless
Andy
it's
Berry,
something you get at like Victoria's Secret or something. I don't
tell
know.
us. I know, right? That's what it. No, no prime time after dark. No saxophone music allowed.
I think they are plush.
Okay.
Yeah, or figurines.
Ah, probably figurines.
Oh,
Oh,
they're figurines.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So but I do look for all sorts of figurines. I sell a lot of figurines. So but I haven't gone after the cherished teddies.
Teddy bears. Okay. It's a knick-knack.
I
Oh,
love
okay.
making Sue laugh.
Oh,
Uh, precious moments, yeah. Knick-knack, tchotchkes, basically.
tchotchkes. Quiche. Yeah. Oh. So,
I do a
what's your
lot.
best selling? Have you ever sold like a big? Maybe it's the dishes, but like, what's your best selling dish glass thing that you sold?
Best-selling glass thing that I sold? A biggest? Made out of glass, I'm not sure, but in terms of like big giant like breakable items, it would probably be my religious statues, which could sometimes sell for hundreds of dollars. So,
Yes,
as
yes,
many
yes.
people know, it's kind of like a running joke on my channel, but I really go after the Virgin Mary hard on my channel. So, but she sells very well, and I had this whole strategy of how I photograph religious figures. Mrs. Primetime laughs hysterically every time I do it, which is I set them in my yard where I have woods in my backyard, and I wait for a nice sunny day for the sun rays to come down, and I have a nice blue sky, and I have like a nice nature
Oh,
scene. It looks so it literally looks heavenly. And that's the whole point, is to kind of connect the buyer with an emotional experience with the item and say, "Wow, I'm connected to it. I need to have that."
yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, neato, neato. Precious moments go for good money. Numbered figurines. Yeah, I do terrible on figurines. I don't know a real one from a dollar store one. So,
Mugs and glasses I do well with. So, I'm always looking for those.
uh-huh.
Gosh, I mean, there's just so many out there, to look for, just so many. In fact, actually, Um, I have a pretty cool glass up here I could show you.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I actually have something up here that I bought from you that I like, and I
Yes.
still have it. Hold on. Oh, remember this, Esme? I
The
saw this,
jug.
I fell in love when I saw this from you, because
Yes.
it reminded me of Mountain Dew. I For me personally now, this is not something I bought to resell. This is something I bought for me. So
Yes.
as a buyer, I bought it because I love the look of it. It has that nice, it's a nice dark brown look to it. It's got a nice shine to it. It has this really cool cork
Corn
on
cob.
top, this really cool stopper. Just has like a nice look to it, almost like a corn cob look in a way. It's got
Yes.
the nice image on the front, of the guys that look like they're from, it looks like the Mountain Dew character. So you got the hillbilly aspect to it, which is fun. So it has a nice look to it. Plus, it also serves as a bank. So you could put the
Yes.
coins in the
But
bank,
have
you
you
know,
tried to take the corn cob off? I couldn't.
yeah, I didn't even try, but yeah, I could pull it out, yeah.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, so you could take the coins out that way, or technically, I mean, you could clean it out and you could drink from it if you want, but you'd have to,
Oh,
like,
wow.
seal that up or something, but yeah, so jugs are something we look for. Mrs. Primetime looks for jugs a lot.
Hey,
Um,
Dominic, I wanted to tell you the story of how I found that one.
okay, go ahead.
I went to it was an estate sale, garage sale out in the backyard. And the man said that he remembered that jug from when he was little. And the man was, well, a senior citizen.
Really?
So, yes.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, so
he said,
I have a thing for those. Here's another one to look for. This came from when I went to the Madison Boukville Antique Festival.
woo.
This is the Mountain Dew Aged in the Woods jug. So, again, it's a similar kind of theme to this one here.
Uh-huh.
Um, but, anything that looks like,
A jug.
something someone would put like moonshine in back in the day, people love to add those as collectibles. Now, this one that I found does not have the full stopper on it. You could see it's kind of cut off, so that takes some of the value down. But for
Ah,
me, again, I was just getting it for me, not necessarily to flip it. I mean, who knows? Maybe one day I will, but for now, I'm just kind of temporarily, keeping it here for a little bit. I like looking at it, but having a complete stopper is going to be, better for you value wise. But again, these are good things to look for because they can resell pretty well.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I was floored when the man said, oh, I'm glad you're buying that. I remember that as a kid. My mom had it in the kitchen. And the man, my husband and I looked at each other like, oh my God, that's an old jug.
yeah, there was a question from MKT about milk glass, like Fire King coffee cups. Yes, I always
Uh-huh.
look for always look for Milk Glass and always look for Fire King. That's a great brand to know and to look for because it sells very well. I've highlighted it in a bunch of my videos, and it's definitely one to one to look for because I mean some of that stuff could sell really really well. Let me while you have a neck, I'm gonna get something else that I have up here.
All
So
right, I'm going to read Misha. Another glass category I sell well is vintage crystal wine glasses. My auction houses put all the clear stuff together in lots, so fine crystal mixed in with Walmart glass I pick up for the starting bid. Yes, I find it very hard to sell clear glass. I try not to even buy it.
okay,
Those guys remind me of the Hayfields and McCoys, the Hatfields and McCoys. Yeah.
Hatfields and McCoy. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, with mugs, one of the things I look for with mugs is something unique about it, something different about it. And this is a very good example because you could see with this Western mug here, the handle is in the shape of a revolver. And in fact, if you look on
Oh,
the
I
other
thought it was a
side,
cat.
you can see it looks like the gun is actually going through. Now, I happen to be a big fan of Western movies. My favorite movie is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I love
Clint Eastwood.
history. So,
Yes.
yeah, Clint Eastwood. In fact, hold on. I have my Clint Eastwood picture right here. So get that out. And that's actually a breakable because it is glass. So there we go. There's my Clint Eastwood sign. Absolutely love that. But yeah, so this is the kind of thing that I love to look for because it's different. So anything that that kind of has like a unique aspect to it with a mug, I look for and look at the picking up. Here's
Is that
something
for
else.
you to keep or are you going to sell it?
I'll probably eventually sell it, but I've been holding on to this for quite a while, so I'm not
Okay.
sure. I don't know. I'm not gonna say 100% I would sell it. I might just actually keep this one. So we'll see. Because again, just because I love Western so much, so
Yeah.
and it's
That's
so
pretty unique. Yeah.
yeah,
You're not
so
going
it's
to
so
find one
different.
again.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Rat Stash. I appreciate you subscribing. I do have, for those who don't know, I do have over 1,000 videos on my channel. Trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. I'm at 47.6. I kind of feel like I'm going to be at 47, below 50 for the next 2 years. So
Oh.
whoever could go over and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Trying to get there sometime soon. We'll see what happens. This is one that actually Mrs. Primetime caught out of the corner of her eyes when
Oh, yeah.
we were at a garage sale, and I haven't even priced this one out yet, but I've just kind of had it because it's just so interesting. Is formed glass. So a lot of people out there like A&W root beer, A&W
Uh-huh.
products.
Uh-huh.
Which, by the way, I sell a lot of A&W stuff. Like it could just be. I just recently sold an A&W scarf. So anything A&W,
Oh.
a lot of people connected to that brand. But check this out. This is a really
Ooh,
interesting
yes. Yes.
A&W root beer glass. It's 16 ounces, but I
Ooh.
mean, it has been really elongated. It has this really cool look and feel to it. I mean, look at that. That is just crazy. So imagine drinking out of that, right? That's like a cool
Wow.
experience. And that's the thing about glasses I was talking about is that it's an experience when you drink something. How you choose to drink an item, is a personal thing to people, and some person might just really like this. You can think about it. You're going to get a lot of attention if you're drinking something out of this. So, yeah, really neat piece. So,
Peroni Bira beer glasses. Foreign beer glasses sell. Huh. I remember those from the 80s.
by the way, it's called a money rack bottle.
Money rack?
Money rack bottle. That's
How
what it
come?
says.
Money
Or
rack?
money back bottle. Maybe money back bottle. Maybe you could recycle it or something. I don't know,
Oh
but
my goodness. No
it's
way.
kind of cut off on the bottom, but I don't know who would take that in to recycle it.
No, that is too
Yeah.
beautiful.
It might be money back because it's cut off on the bottom. See, it's hard to.
Ah,
Might be
would that
money
have
back.
had a what do you call that? Papa top on top, or what would have
It's
been
got
the
a.
thing?
I don't know. It has a cork in it. I'm not sure if that's how it
Oh,
originally came
oh,
or not, but it does have a cork in it. So very
ah,
cool piece. So that's just another example of things.
nice. One time, my husband and I were at the flea market, and whenever we go to the flea market, we go on the motorcycle. There was this very tall green bottle. I mean, the thing was like 4 feet long, skinny. and we couldn't buy it. It was only $8 and we couldn't get it because we were on the motorcycle.
Right. Yeah, like Old Time Gem said, like Melissa said, anything with old advertising on it, I highly agree. Um, in fact, at an estate sale I went to recently, it was a guy who was very much into computers, and so he had some um, old IBM computer mugs that had some old uh, cartoon icons from
Ooh.
IBM, like very early on, and then they actually discontinued the character. But
Uh-huh.
because that was on there, that actually made the mug more valuable. So looking into those kind of things could be something you could use to, get a really good price for your, for your mug, is to check if the icon on there might be linked to some old advertising.
Yeah. Nice. Well, speaking of glasses, this is, to me, I thought these were cool. These are etched. I don't know if you can see. Okay, let me put myself
Is there a mermaid on
big.
that one?
No, no mermaid. These are fish, but they're etched into the glass, and there's four of them.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I have them listed on Macari right now, but for a while, I didn't know if they would make it home because, oh darn, I just saw a big piece of blue missing. Darn it, I'm gonna have to take an updated picture. I don't know if you can see it right there. It's a big piece of blue. Darn, 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 darn. If not, they're gonna get a good deal because I'm gonna have to lower it.
Yeah, that's the thing with these breakables, is that you gotta look them over super carefully, because sometimes these little flaws, they could hide on you, and then,
Well, these were free, so I'm not too mad. These were
yeah,
free.
yeah.
Because the lady said, go ahead and get stuff. I'm like, okay. So we got all this stuff for free. And I'll just have to say, please note. Now I had already updated it once, but I gotta go update it again. Old flute glasses are great. Okay. Flute glasses. With stems on the bottom, like a short stem or long stem. Does it matter? Oh boy, I've been counting the months till I can retire, Dominic. I got 32 months when November ends. I still
Months,
have
I'm
30.
still in years, so I've been thinking about it, but, I can't think about it too much.
Well,
But I
you
envy you.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, you've got kids. I don't. So
I do, and they're both, well, my daughter just started college, so then my son next year, so gotta pay for it somehow.
yes. Yes. Well, with these $700 poster sales with bare naked ladies on it, you'll be fine. Vampirilla and all that stuff.
Oh, comics and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I joke, I told my daughter that I'm gonna pay her college with comic books.
Oh.
Yeah, so she keeps laughing.
Oh. Yeah, so my husband also he needs about 4 or 5 years to retire, and then we'll both be doing reselling full time.
That would be fun. That would definitely be
Yes,
fun.
he's
I'm
come
looking
a long
forward
way. He's the one who wanted to go thrifting on Black Friday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one day. Whenever it is I decide, that it's time to retire, I am going to do that, and, I'm not gonna regret it, because I know I have a whole reselling business that I've been
Oh yeah,
building up over the years that,
oh yeah.
I'll be able to just transition right into, because that's a problem. A lot of people retire, and they get depressed because they find out, "I don't really have anything to do now."
Uh-huh.
I'll have plenty to do, so, I'll be reselling until I'm not here anymore, so
Yeah.
that's not gonna stop. Even if I didn't have a YouTube channel. I mean, before I had a YouTube channel, I was reselling for a long time, so, yeah.
Well, Teresa, that's wonderful. Her husband helps her find video games and comics. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to have a teammate to go out with, because with Mrs. Primetime, I'll come across some jewelry, and I have an indication, just from, doing a lot of, work with her over the years on jewelry items, that, "Hey, this is something that might be good. Why don't you take a look at it?" And same
Yeah.
thing with myself. She'll say, "Hey, look at this. These are some comic related items. Take a look at it." And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. but, she at least could catch something that I might not have seen.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And then on Whatnot, you're able to go through your comic books because for a while there, you were getting boxes and boxes, and now you can whip them out.
I can. The only thing is that, like, if you just saw on my Instagram, like, I just went out and bought, like, a whole 'nother collection. I couldn't pass up on a deal. I couldn't pa It was such a good deal
Uh-huh.
that I literally couldn't pass it up. It was crazy. I was like, I even said to the guy, I said, "Listen, how much for this whole table of everything on here?" I said, "And I'm hoping you actually give me a number I can't do
Uh-huh.
because I really shouldn't
Because
buy another collection right now."
yeah.
But it was too good. I couldn't pass it up, so now I have it.
Wow.
But yeah, but point is, I can process it much faster now that I have the Whatnot.
Yes. Yes. And people are
Yeah.
getting great deals. And
Yeah,
let's see,
absolutely.
Misha says she got laid off and forced into the reselling full time, but it's been fun. I would never tried it if she wasn't forced to. So thankful that she had reselling as a backup.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, 100%. Yeah, it does help a lot of people out and it's helped people get through tough times, especially during the pandemic. I mean, it brought a lot of people into reselling.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
but at the same time, there's a lot of people who transitioned out of it because, then they went back to work and they said, "All right, I tried it," and now, maybe they still do a little bit of it on the side, but not necessarily full time.
Well, I see it as practice for me, my little side hustle. And one day I'll be full time, but right now it's just a learning process. Yvonne bought some plush from Dominic on Whatnot, and she already flipped them. Ooh, don't tell him how much you flipped them for,
No, it's
girl.
fine. I tell people this all the time. Come to my shows, buy stuff from me. I have someone just bought a ephemera from me and I saw flipped it. I tell people buy comic books from me and flip them because the thing is, I was talking about this last night on my member live show, which is that if at a certain point when you start buying enough volume and enough
Yeah,
inventory,
yeah,
you psychologically have to get to a point eventually that you have to be comfortable moving some of the stuff in volume, and not always worrying about having to squeeze every penny out of every item because there's just not enough time to do that if you're buying in massive bulk. You will
right.
wind up dying one day with all of this stuff around you that you never sold.
Yeah,
And if you think that your kids want it, most of the time they do not. So what's going to happen is all the stuff that you wound up buying is going to be bought by someone just like you who's going to your estate now and just taking every single thing that they got at a low price anyway.
yeah,
So, you know, uh, that's very, very important to keep in mind, especially when you go sourcing and you see some of these houses. You just gotta say to yourself, "Do I want them? Does that I want that to be me one day? Nah." So, yeah, it requires a change of mindset, and that's what Whatnot has allowed me to do.
exactly.
Yeah, so it's been very helpful.
Yes, yes. Sometimes you
Exactly.
just have to let it go. That's right, and let someone else cherish it. I got it all. My dad was my mentor. He was a collector and antique dealer. Wow.
Yeah, so in certain situations, I mean, that it could work out really well, like, if you happen to be a collector and you happen to be a dealer and stuff, but a lot of times what happens, like what you see on American Pickers, is the family doesn't know any of the stuff, they don't know
Oh
how
my
to process it,
goodness.
they're overwhelmed, so they call Mike and Frank over or
Yeah,
Mike and his partner, and they
yeah.
say, "Hey, please help us out because we're overwhelmed."
And they have barns and
Right,
18 wheelers, the bag part.
exactly, sheds,
Crazy.
yeah,
No.
100%.
Oh no.
So, like, for me, like, with my comics, right, like, I have, like, over 100,000 comics, but so, I is my are my kids gonna want my comic collection one day? Is Mrs. Primetime gonna want my comic book collection one day?
Only
No!
to sell it. Only to
They they
sell it.
they wouldn't know, but that's the thing, like, she even said, like, "I would have no idea what to do." So, she'd call someone who deals in comics, and they'd buy all my stuff out at a very low price. So, my point is just, like
Turn
Yvonne
it
said,
over.
sometimes you have to let it go and be comfortable letting it like, maybe you coulda got 30 out of it, but you sell it for 25. Okay, well,
Sure.
so what? If you got it for low, who cares?
Right. You know what I've heard some people say? You make your money in the buy. I like that.
True, it's very true. That's very true, you do. Yeah, Frank was unfortunately, cut loose there, he's not
Yeah.
too happy about it, but anyway.
My favorite is Mike anyway. Uh, I
Yeah,
guess I like Frank better because he's the underdog.
yeah, I mean, I kinda like them both together, they both kinda play
Oh,
off each other.
yes. They
Yeah,
were junior high friends.
yeah, yeah, from what I heard, Mike wanted his brother on the show, like,
And
as a
that
per
brother has no personality.
Yeah, he's not it's not the same dynamic as Mike and
Uh-uh.
Frank, but, yeah, whatever. I mean, I just like learning about the items, and I like seeing the wheeling and dealing and stuff on there, so,
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun with that.
Gosh.
And like Sue said, yeah, enjoy it until it
Until it's
sells.
oh,
So that's
yeah.
the thing, like, I like buying stuff that I personally enjoy looking at because I could just say, "Alright, well," and if it's a longer tail item, something I'm gonna, put on eBay and say, "Okay, it might sit on there for a little bit." I'll have it somewhere that I could look at it and say, "Alright, well, I'll enjoy it until it's gone." Then when it goes, I wrap it in the box and say, "Bye-bye, get something else."
Yes, that's my favorite part. When one goes out, I get to use that money to go buy more stuff.
That's right. Exactly.
Oh gosh. Well, I don't know if y'all heard, but I've been sick this whole show, but I knew Dominic would be carrying me. And thank you, Dominic, for all your knowledge, sharing everything that you did. And gosh, I don't know. I just want to
I
thank you.
I will send a mermaid through the screen for you, to cure you of your cold with her magical powers, so,
Oh,
that
okay.
we'll be taking care of that a little bit later for you.
Oh, and yeah, I will go back and see Miss Primetime on whatnot, but I haven't even opened the first box of jewelry that I bought. I've not been in the mood to go through it, and I'll be needing more stuff later, so I'll go back in and watch her. She
Well,
was
I guess
such a natural. So you know what? I foresee her kicking you off and not needing you in about 5 shows.
we'll see. That's fine. That would be funny. She's already killing me in the bookmarks.
What do you mean?
She had 45 bookmarks for her show.
Ooh, wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I get like I mean, the highest I ever had was 61, so I joke with her, she's gotta beat that, but technically, that was because it was ladies' night when I did that one, so,
Oh,
but you 45 is very good, so,
oh yeah.
normally I get, like, maybe in the 30s for a weekend show, sometimes it'd be 40 or 50, but, she definitely for her 2nd show to get 45 is that's awesome.
Yvonne wants to know when's the next cha-ching-a-thon.
I stopped the Chingathon. I stopped all the live shows. I have moved over to Whatnot for, Wednesday night.
Yes.
I did
Yes.
a video about it on my member side. It was time to transition. I'd done the live shows for, 4 to 5 years. I've done a ton of Chingathons. I made a lot of people in the reselling community a ton of money, but for many, many reasons, the, thrift battle had just ended after a 3-year run. I've been the original goal actually wasn't to switch over to Whatnot on Wednesday nights. I actually just wanted to just stop doing the Wednesday night shows. In fact, actually, the reality of it, the main thing for me and for my channel is that the live shows were killing my channel. Um, that's the
Oh.
problem. Yeah, it has a lot to do with the YouTube algorithm, which is why a lot of people, have a separate channel for live shows, and people had
Oh.
suggested that I do that for years, but I
Uh-huh.
always resisted it because I didn't wanna send people to 2 different channels, but there is a
Mhm.
logic to it. The problem is YouTube's algorithm doesn't really know how to handle the live shows. A lot of people don't watch live shows on repeat, although
Uh-huh.
some people will, but not as
Uh-huh.
much as the pre-recorded shows. And basically, what YouTube basically wants is for you to just keep reproducing the same type of content over and
Right.
over and over again that your
Boring.
subscribers like. And when I went and looked at all the analytics, it's very clear to me that what people like the most on my channel are the sourcing videos. They love
Uh-huh.
the estate sale videos. And it's a
Yes.
comment I get over and over. Yeah, some people
Yes.
like the news, but the news took forever to produce and
Oh, that was too much research for you.
it was very, very time consuming, and with
Yeah.
my daughter going to college and, You know, there was just no way that I could spend hours down here producing news videos when Mrs.
There's other
Primetime
people doing, I mean, you do great. We loved hearing it from you, but no, that's all right. We'll get our news elsewhere.
Yeah, and then honestly, the other thing is it started to get, in my opinion, and this is just me
Repetitive.
criticizing myself, but there's some of it started to get repetitive with
Right.
similar types of stories over and over,
Sure.
and
Sure.
after 8 months of doing it, I said it's time to try something new. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I've switched.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, you learn from every new turn you take on your channel. So, and you bring in
Yeah,
new
so
people and yeah.
yeah, so it's a new phase at this point, and I'm still doing new things. Like my latest video was actually first time I ever went behind the scenes to a
Uh-huh.
grand opening of a store,
Of
and
a
then I did
comic
a
store.
treasure hunt in the store, and I showed some of the
Uh-huh.
cool things that I found.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, I'm still trying to do some new things here and there. Thank you, Yvonne.
Uh, I appreciate you, Dominic. Thank y'all for coming to the live. And I got to go take a sleeping pill and try to sleep this off.
All right, like I said,
All right.
I'll send the mermaid over.
Oh, and somebody just came on TNA Treasures. Hello. Sorry you got here at the end, but you can go back and watch. It was very educational. We talked about glass, stoneware, shipping, cups. Yeah, there's a
Everything.
lot here. So, thanks so much, everybody. I will catch y'all. And next time, I already have my guest lined up. It's Victoria.
Oh,
Yay!
awesome,
Adventures
awesome.
with Victoria. So y'all come back now. You hear?
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming
Okay.
by. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.